Hey everyone, Coach Jess here, and I am going to use this video to take you through the Final Surge app, which is how we're now going to deliver our run coaching and programming. This app is amazing. It has so many features and it's very smooth to use, but it does a lot. So buckle up, let's learn how to use it. First things first, let's open it up. The first screen you'll see is your training calendar. To make it bigger, hit this little arrow. It scrolls into the past or the future, and any workout I've ever given you will be logged and saved into here. Your workouts will appear below. So on this day, I had a tempo sandwich. That was a tempo, then some speed, and then another tempo. The description can be viewed by hitting that arrow, and I'll always indicate your warm-up and cool-down there as well. This workout's already complete, and I've synced the app to Strava and Garmin, and so my results from this workout uploaded. This isn't necessary if you don't use a smartwatch or you don't want to do that, that's fine, but it's possible, which is pretty cool. Other days, you might have a strength workout. I will enter when you have a strength workout into your Final Surge so that you know that it's meant to take place that day and what it is. But you'll use our our current PT Distinction personal training software that we've always used to deliver strength. We're still going to be using that for strength. It's not entered right in Final Surge. But it's important, I figured, to put it in the calendar so that you know exactly what your schedule is and how your week looks. Now, this calendar isn't just for delivering your workouts, it also serves as your training log. So if you hit this icon, which looks like writing on a piece of paper, you enter your training log. Now, this is a workout that I haven't completed yet, so my Garmin hasn't uploaded my data into it, but this is what it would look like if you don't have a phone that's linked to your workout. So you can enter the distance you've completed and the duration you ran for. You can log how you felt. So let's say I felt good, happy face. You can mark your perceived effort. Let's say the run was 6 out of 10. Enter post-workout notes. Now, this is your personal training log. This is like your training diary. So these are notes that are important to you and pertinent to your training. So I might write something like ran with my friend Maria, felt good, warm day. This can be whatever you want. You can also mark injuries. So this is really helpful if you have a niggle that's popped up. Very often when I'm coaching athletes, they'll say, listen, my foot's been sore or my knee's been sore. And you ask them, okay, how long has it been sore for? You can't really remember. Or is there anything that brings it on? Is there anything that aggravates it? And it's hard to remember. So logging your niggles as they pop up can be really valuable for pinpointing when an injury started, what aggravated it, and whether it's getting better, staying the same, or getting worse. So let's say on this run I had a little bit of Achilles pain. It was pretty slight, 2 out of 10, started halfway through the workout, and it was slightly increasing. All right, then I can save. Now the speech bubble is used as a communication tool between you, the athlete, and me, the coach. So this is for our Tier 2 and Tier 3 athletes where I am reviewing your training logs in between calls. So you can write a comment and I will receive a notification and then respond to it at whatever interval we've agreed upon depending on your tier. So this might be daily, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever. But basically you're communicating that there's something you'd like me to see or respond to or that you'd like to share with me. So me as an athlete might write something like, tempo went great. I love this type of workout. Check out my paces. Felt strong. Now I, as your coach, receive a notification of that message, and I'll respond to it when I review your training log. If your app is linked with your Garmin or Strava or any other smartwatch device, your workout results will be imported into your training log, and you can analyze them in quite a bit of detail. So let's look at a workout I did yesterday. Oops. All right. We can look at all the laps. So these came off the watch. They show me my paces, my average heart rates for each lap. So this was a 12-minute tempo. This is the rest period, some speed with rest, and then another 12-minute tempo. It shows me where I ran and where the laps were hit. And it shows me this pretty messy chart. I would take away cadence, and then I can view pace versus heart rate. You can look at just one or just the other. I could look at elevation if I wanted, paired with heart rate. Just dive deeper into the actual workout results. The next screen to show you is an amalgamation of your training over the last period of time. So this shows all of your training over the last 7 days. You can look at different time periods up top. So this shows that I've run 30 miles. I've done 4 different runs. I've run for about 4 hours. Each of these bars represents a day, and this is the length of time I ran for. You can change that if you want. My phone's being sticky, but you can change it if you want. You can also look at time spent in different heart rate zones if you have that set up. Different power zones, but this is for cyclists, so it won't apply to you. And different pace zones. So I've set up pace zones for myself in this app, and so you can see that I've spent a lot of time running easy paces and a little bit of time running speed, and pretty much no time in this in-between sort of gray zone. So good job, me. My training was very polarized the last week, so excellent, excellent. Now, these pace zones exist because I entered them into the app based on my perceived fitness that I calculated using time trials and recent race results. I'll be doing that for some of you athletes, but not for everyone. It's going to be case by case. I wouldn't do it if you are a beginner or if you run primarily on trails or your runs involve a lot of elevation, because that really skews paces and they're not quite as relevant, and that can be pretty frustrating. The next screen to look at is your vitals. So this is just a diary of general wellness markers. So you can record your weight, your sleep, your stress, general notes. You can record your resting heart rate, all kinds of things that are just related to your overall well-being. Now this can become handy when you're tracking, say, your stress, and say you're in a period of high stress. You can see that it's been a high stress period for a while, and your workouts start to suffer. Or maybe you're not sleeping quite as much, and your workouts are going a bit downhill, and you're not sure why. Or vice versa, maybe you're knocking your workouts out of the park and you can see you're sleeping really, really well and your resting heart rate's becoming lower, something like that. So it's just a good way to link your training to the rest of your life. Of course, this is optional. You can use it if you want, but it's just another neat tool. The final screen of the app is settings. So there's a lot here to go through, lots more features that we haven't even tapped into. This is my athlete account. That's what I'm using to show you guys. That's why my name is Jaycon Ocon. I was getting confused between my coaching account and my athlete account. You guys can call me Jaycon if you want. That is my nickname. Haha. All right. So the first few tabs are pretty obvious: notifications, mailbox, message board. The first important one is connected apps. The Final Search app syncs with a lot of different smart apps. So the main ones are Garmin, Strava, Under Armour, Polar Flow. But there are quite a few options. The advantage of syncing is, again, the app can pull in your training data right into its platform. If you don't have a smartwatch, if you just use a regular Timex, that's totally fine. You can enter data manually. It's just a bonus. Syncing is really easy. Just tap on what you want to sync with, connect, and then you'll have to log into your Strava or your Garmin or whatever, and then it just syncs. If you have multiple apps that can sync, like Garmin and Strava, only sync one, because otherwise, like the app can't tell that you have multiple things and they're feeding the same information in, and so your workouts will be entered in duplicate. So just sync one, and if you have Garmin and Strava, prioritize Garmin. I'll make another video on how to sync your Garmin and how to push workouts to your Garmin watch, because it's not going to apply to everyone and it's a bit complicated, but it is awesome. The next tab of interest is account and workout settings. These are fairly straightforward. Notable ones are under user preferences. You can dictate the start of the week. The default is actually Sunday on this app. That was really making my brain break, so I changed it to Monday. I will be linked as your coach. If you have multiple coaches that use the Final Search software, like a swim coach or a bike coach, they will also be linked, which is pretty cool. And you can dictate what notifications you receive. So by default, you'll receive an email every day with your workouts for that day. That's a lot of emails. I turned that notification off, but totally up to you. You can also receive them via text message if you'd like. It's not on for me right now, but you just tap there, enter your cell phone number, and you're good. Under these workout settings, you can set your thresholds and your pace zones or heart rate zones. If you've done a VO2 max test or heart rate zone testing lately, you can enter that yourself. If you're an athlete where we are going to use pace zones and we can talk about that, then I will put them in for you. You can also log the shoes that you've been wearing, so that you know what works, what feels good, what doesn't, how long you've had them for, etc., etc. The Files and Resources tab has a lot of important information. Here I've uploaded a few videos and files that I think are really important for your training. So hit Athlete Resources. The first I've added is a video on an activation warm-up. So if you're an old athlete of mine, you'll be very, very familiar with this activation warm-up, but it's something I think every athlete should do before every run, and I have videoed myself doing it right here. The next is a post-run recovery routine. So how to foam roll, how to do trigger point release, how to incorporate that into your recovery after a run workout. The third thing is a pacing cheat sheet. So what I'm looking for when I say easy pace, long tempo pace, fast, etc., etc., etc. It's very beautiful. I'm very proud of these rainbow colors. Who knows? Maybe I'll add more resources to here, but that's what's here right now. So basically information on how to train better. Finally, there is a tab with workout calculators. My favorite one is the heat and humidity and wind chill adjustment calculator. So you can enter a recent race time, or you could do some math and pop in maybe the time that you're planning to do your next tempo in or your next intervals, and see how much of a difference the heat or humidity makes, because it's huge. A lot of athletes really feel confused in the summer when it's suffocatingly hot and they find their paces are slower than they were in the spring or the winter when it's not quite so hot. So this is a nice calculator to show you that, yeah, this really is a big factor that's affecting your training. So that's it, guys. This is a lot of information. As you can see, there are a ton of features on this app. At the end of the day, it is a really, really nice, smooth training log that just delivers a ton of information, both for you as an athlete and for me as a coach. Just play around, push all the buttons, see what it can do, and figure out how it can work for you. Hope you like it. Enjoy.